Hi, and welcome to Pricing. In the previous class, we learnt how to set up and update your calendar. This video is all about the basics of pricing. There is actually much more that goes into choosing the right price than you might expect. In fact, it's so important we have 4 pricing classes in total. This one will get you up and running quickly. The other 3 will cover making price adjustments, as well as the extra charges to consider when finalizing your listing. We'll get to those in our Edit Mode section later on. So let's get started. If you're continuing straight on from the previous class, having just completed your calendar, then click Next to go on to Pricing to get to this page. If you're starting from the home page, you can either click the Discover Hosting tab or the Become a Host tab. And then in the drop-down menu, choose Host to Home, which will bring you to this page. Now go up and choose Host and click on Finish Your Listing. Now click Continue under Step 3, Get Ready for Guests. And we're back to the first pricing page in the setup process. Immediately we're given a choice to use Airbnb's Smart Pricing feature or keep your price fixed. Smart Pricing allows your price to fluctuate depending on the type and location of your listing, the season, demand, and other factors. Fixed pricing allows you to set the price you want, and it stays like that until you decide to change it. We'll take a look at both. First, let's assume you want to choose fixed price. Click Next, and on the following page, you can set your base price and currency. Your base price is your default nightly price that will show on your listing unless you manually change specific nights. You'll see that Airbnb provides us with a tip. I'm going to use that number that they've suggested to make it easier. But remember, weekends tend to be more popular for travelers than weekdays. So if you do choose fixed pricing, you may want to increase your price for Friday and Saturday nights, like hotels do. You will have the chance to manually adjust your weekend prices after you have published your listing. More on that later in the Edit Mode section. Something else to take into account: seasons. The summer and winter seasons tend to be a more popular time to travel. Special events, such as conventions, festivals, or concerts, may also increase demand, and therefore the price that you can charge. So just be aware that with fixed pricing switched on, you will have to set all of these price changes yourself. Now let's go back to look at Smart Pricing. Click on Price Adapts to Demand, and then click Next. You can now set the minimum and maximum prices that you will accept, and Airbnb does the rest. Their algorithm takes into account all the factors that can affect price and adjusts your nightly price accordingly. And by the way, even if you do choose Smart Pricing, you can still manually adjust nightly prices at any time before a booking. So that all sounds great, but here's something to bear in mind about the Smart Pricing tool. Some Airbnb hosts have noticed that depending on the season, the prices they can charge are often above the prices that Airbnb puts in place using the Smart Pricing tool. A cynical observer might say that this is in Airbnb's interest to make listing prices as low as possible for guests, since lower prices equals more bookings, and more bookings means more opportunities for the company to charge their 3% host fees and 5 to 15% guest fees. So while we strongly suggest that you leverage this adaptive pricing tool to remain as competitive as possible, you should also do your own tests along the way to see if you're underselling yourself. Picking the right price can be more of an art than a science. And now you can set your base price and currency again. And down here, select how often you want to host. Part-time or as often as possible. The choice you make has a slight effect on the Smart Pricing algorithm used for your listing. If you have no idea how to go about picking a fair base price for your place, start by checking out your direct Airbnb competition. Search for a place in your area that's as similar to your listing as possible. You do this by going back to the home page in Guest View, selecting Homes, and then choosing the same filters that would bring up your listing in a search results page. How many guests can you host? Are you renting the entire place, a private room, or a shared room? Use as many filters as possible to narrow down your search. Now you can easily check out all of your closest competition and what they're charging. Jot down every price being charged by the various listings. Then add them up and divide them by the total number of listings to reach the average price that places like yours are charging today. For example, say you found 4 listings like yours with the following prices: $102, $130, $99, and $121. Add them up. 102 plus 130 plus 99 plus 121 equals $452. Divide this by 4, the number of listings, equals $113. Obviously, this is only a rough estimate still, but it gives you a ballpark figure. And remember, these prices will almost certainly vary depending on the time of year. So now you can repeat the search for a few different times of the year ahead to see how prices might be affected by season. You'll also get a little better acquainted with your competition. While you have the search results in front of you, why not dive deeper and see what they're doing better than you? What could you offer that they don't? Also, you could take a look at the hotel prices near you, because while they are not direct competition, you do want to make sure you're pricing yourself below them. The reality is the majority of guests only choose Airbnb over a hotel for 3 reasons. 1. To stay in a unique place. 2. To enjoy an authentic experience. And 3. To save money. So if you price yourself like a hotel or higher, you're essentially removing a major reason that guests will book your place. Let's keep moving forward. If you haven't made up your mind about pricing yet, just put down your best guess for now, and we'll show you how to edit everything later. Click Next. Okay, now you need to make another choice. Would you like to offer your first 3 guests a special 20% discount or not? It's totally up to you, but you do need to decide this one now. Once your listing is published, you won't be able to add the offer. Clearly, Airbnb recommends that you do, and so do we. It just makes sense to stage a grand opening, offering generous discounts to get your first customers through the door and help you begin building a library of positive reviews. Airbnb's search results algorithm actually favors listings that have just received a booking, as it shows that you're currently active. This means that you can go for days without anything and then suddenly get 3 or 4 in a row. So once you get that first booking, you could try increasing your rates a little because your next one could be just around the corner. This technique can also work in lean times. Drop your price to snag a booking, then put the price back up as soon as the booking is confirmed. However, according to Joe Debbia, one of the founders of Airbnb, guests' level of trust of hosts stays relatively low and constant until you have at least 10 great reviews under your belt. Once you hit that point, your business will take off, because now you have started to build that priceless thing called reputation. So keeping your price ultra low until you gather those first 10 reviews is probably the smarter way to go. Pricing is so dependent on your unique situation, and there may be some trial and error involved. But don't worry, keep things simple. Start with a low price, take care of the details that make your place special, put your guests' needs first, ask them to leave you an honest review, and before you know it, you'll have your 10. Once you've made your choice, click Next. And here we are at length of stay prices, or discounts. Weekly discounts will apply for reservations of 7 to 27 days in length. You don't have to give a monthly discount if you don't want to, but if you do, it will only apply to stays longer than 28 days. If in doubt, go with Airbnb's suggestions for now. Remember, this is just your first pass, so don't worry. Click Next and you'll be able to review and edit all of the settings that you've put in place throughout the setup process. Just click Edit next to the section you want to look at, and you'll be taken back to the relevant page. Once you're done, click Review Your Settings to come back to this page. And now, if you're happy with how everything looks so far, click Next. And now this page tells you what to expect once you publish. But before that, we recommend a deep dive into edit mode, where you can double-check every setting and add the finishing touches on your listing. Okay, that's it on pricing for now. In our next video, we take a look at one final step before we're completely done with this first pass of your listing: local laws and taxes. To go to that page, click Next, and we'll see you in the next class.